has devoted a lot of time on the show to opening up Project 2025 and making sure that you know exactly what's in it, what the right is planning for the next Republican presidency. Today, we're going to start with a very revealing passage from the very first page. Quote, "Look at America under the ruling and cultural elite today. Inflation is ravaging family budgets. Drug overdose deaths continue to escalate, and children suffer the toxic normalization of transgenderism with drag queens and pornography invading their school libraries." Of all of the priorities that the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025 might have, of all of the items on their conservative wish list, you might be surprised to see drag queens and so-called transgenderism and pornography singled out within the first few sentences of a nearly 1,000-page tome. If you are surprised to see that there, well, don't be. It falls right in line with their fixation on anything that might threaten the conservative image of what the American family should be. The authors of Project 2025 made the connection between pornography and transgender people in a calculated and cynical move to equate the two. Project 2025 aims to define anything related to sex, gender, or sexuality as pornography. Its goal is to paint the very idea of people who are not straight and cisgendered as obscene, dangerous, and ultimately illegal. A few pages later, the mandate reads, quote, "Pornography, manifested today in the omnipresent propagation of transgender ideology and sexualization of children, for instance, is not a political Gordian knot inextricably binding up disparate claims about free speech, property rights, sexual liberation, and child welfare. It has no claim to First Amendment protection. Its purveyors are child predators, misogynistic exploiters of women. Their product is as addictive as any illicit drug and as psychologically destructive as any crime. Pornography should be outlawed. The people who produce and distribute it should be imprisoned. Educators and public librarians who purvey it should be classified as registered sex offenders, and telecommunications and technology firms that facilitate its spread should be shuttered." To be clear, this means that if the architects of Project 2025 have their way, teachers and librarians who provide information about the existence of trans and queer people would be jailed. Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation go after so-called transgender ideology, which, rather than targeting specific topics or content that parents might object to, goes after the very existence of trans people. Their intention is to erase LGBTQ people, and the mandate literally calls for deleting any mention of LGBTQ people, any mention of reproductive health or health care, and any mention of diversity from all legislation. The foreword of the 900-page manifesto reads in part, quote, "This starts with deleting the terms sexual orientation and gender identity, diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, gender, gender equality, gender equity, gender awareness, gender-sensitive abortion, reproductive health, reproductive rights, all of this out of every federal rule, agency regulation, contract, grant, regulation, and piece of legislation that exists." Whew. So let's recap. Project 2025's authors want to classify anything outside of heteronormativity, any discussion of gender or sexuality, or even the existence of trans people as pornography. They want to imprison anyone who provides information related to sexuality and gender. They want any company or organization that publishes or even provides information related to sexuality and gender to be shut down. They literally call for the eradication of any mention of queer people, gender, sexuality, reproductive health, and anything related to diversity and inclusion. That is the conservative vision for America. They literally wrote it down. They made it overly long and very complicated to discourage us from reading it and understanding it. But make no mistake, if Donald Trump is elected, they will hold it up as a mandate to transform America into a dystopian chapter from a Margaret Atwood novel.